Hello everyone, it's Cash here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you the first episode of a game series I'm working on. And also, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. It took us like 2 years to get here, and we started at 0, so it's awesome. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to shout out a bunch of people who helped me get here in the description. Alright, anyways, let's get started with the video. So, first thing we're going to make is probably the map. And this game is going to be, what should we make? I'm thinking a simulator game maybe. But there's a lot of those. Maybe a fighting game. Fighting game or just whatever. Every game has different aspects, so you have to make like a series on every single type of game, like horror games or fighting games, a bunch of games, but I think we'll do probably a fighting game. So let's create a map. And I'm not the best builder, but I am decent at scripting, so I'm probably gonna make a bad map, but I like to use smooth plastic and then just create everything like that. So if we just scale this down, be some grass, make it greener like sea green. Now we have a basically platform. Now we're just gonna lay this out for the map. Make it, maybe we'll do 200 by 200. Actually, we're gonna need it bigger. We'll do 300 by 300. And there we go. Then this one we can just do the same thing. Drag it right here. Oops. Just actually copy the position of this one and then just change it up by 1.5 studs, because boom, there we go. And now we have a basic flat map. We're also going to change the position to 0, except for on the y-axis, so that way it's directly in the middle. And then put collisions on, drag this down. Oops. There we go. So now we have a spawning system where you can just spawn in. Here we go. And we also need to anchor everything, so just go ahead and do that. Select these two parts down here, anchor them. There we go. And now we can get started on the actual map part, since we have the layout for it. So you can just scale up blocks and stuff like this, make them brown, and then copy them on top and turn it green. And I think I'll actually make this one a little bit darker. There we go. That makes it look, I think, better. Maybe not too darker, but just a little bit. And we also want to change the lighting to make it bright. So we can put this brightness at 10. And then I think that looks good. Maybe a little too bright, maybe 7. Okay, shadow softness, we want to put this on 0. That way it's just completely like that, but as you see, if we put it at 1, it does look better, but it just looks weird. And then we can, for all of these type of parts, you can union them, but I'm not going to union them, because unioning is kind of weird. But I do it a lot on a bunch of my other games. Just scale this up. We'll make like a pillar up here. Make this one sea green. Copy this. Put it on top of this one. And copy it again. Make it sea green. Now I'm gonna do this for a bunch, so I'm just gonna pause the video and I'll come back when I build the map like this. Alright, I am back, and here's the map I've created. So basically what I did is I just did what I taught you guys, and I just basically made a map with it. Now you have to add small details like these to make your map not so bland, and if you don't, it'll just look like a bunch of cubes. Now it still does look like a bunch of cubes, and it's not that, good looking, but we can still change it. So we're gonna add some rocks, and the way we do that is the exact same way. So we just do that, make it medium stone gray, and boom, now we have a rock, and we can just duplicate it. And if you want, make it black up here, but I'm not. I'm just gonna duplicate it, scale it down here, and then make this one just a little bit darker. Now that kind of looks like a rock, and then I'm just going to scale this one on the top here. And now we have a rock, but we need to do it on all sides. There we go. And what I'm going to do here is just group it, duplicate it, and put these all over the map. So one down here, put one over here, and you get the idea. Alright, so I did exactly just that. It's starting to look better, but you don't need too many rocks, so just delete a couple of them. And then you just have 2 small rocks wherever. And also, I recommend changing the size and rotating them like this. And if you actually rotate some of these blocks away from each other, where it looks like they're not all in the same order, it actually will make your game look a lot better too, and it doesn't just make it look like a 4-year-old did it. But so if we rotate this and all of these, it actually makes it actually does make it look a lot better, I would say. But you don't want to rotate all of them, just do it in moderation so you have enough, but at the same time not too many, like that. And finally this one. Make sure you select all parts. And now we have an even better looking map. Okay? And now what we're going to do is add trees. So the way we add trees is we don't put them in the actual map. We put them on like the outskirts. So we'll do it like this. And then the trees will just be blocky too. And then scale it down like that. And then on the top here, make it 1 stud. And then just scale it up like this. Make this one sea green. And then make these brown. Group it. Now you have a tree. Duplicate them. Rotate them around everywhere. Scale them. You get the idea. You just don't want to have the same ones, or like the same. You can have the same ones, just not the same rotation and everything, and that will make them look like more natural. So just add some variety to it. The colors are looking good too. Everything's looking kind of smooth. And if we just move this one around here, you don't need to scale all of them. Rotate that, make it smaller, and you get the idea. So now we're at a bird's eye view, and we can see right now that the map's looking decent. And I actually like this map so far. Now what we're going to do is we're going to group all of these with all the blocks and stuff. And then we can just regroup every single one, so if we need to choose a certain one and move it around or whatever, we don't have to just keep selecting every single part. So just go ahead and do that. Alright, so now that they're all grouped, there's one last thing to group, and that is the floors. So group that, we can name it floor, and then now what we're going to do is just go around naming all of these groups. For example, this one, we're just going to call it mound, or actually we can just call these hill, and then for the trees we can just call them tree, and we'll just do that for the rest of them. What I recommend doing is just selecting all of them at once, all the trees and whatever you're naming, and then go into name here and just name them tree. And then for the rest of them you can just select everything else like this, and you name all of these hill. Okay. Our map's looking good now. Everything's named, except for this right here. Oh yeah. So here's this rock, and we just drag it in there. Okay. So now everything's organized. We know exactly what everything is. Go ahead and anchor everything too. Just press Control A and then anchor. And we're gonna put everything into a folder. And then this will be called map 1, because if you want other maps, then you just put them in the other map, or in another folder. Okay, and the last thing we need to do though, before anything, is create the actual borders. So the borders is what's gonna help us like keep our players in and not bug the game out. Now the way we do this is pretty simple. We just create a big block right here. It looks like 8, and then we just make this 200, or I think it was 200. No, it's 300. Okay. Okay, 300. Like that. Scale all the way up, but not all the way, just enough. And then we'll do 90. Then we'll duplicate it, scale it all the way down, and name this sea green. Or not sea green, change the color to sea green. And then we can just group this, call this border wall, turn off collisions, and then just move this across the map. And here we go. Then duplicate this, change your rotation to 90, and if it's duplicated, actually no, we did it wrong. It's at 180 for some reason. Put it at 90. There we go. Now we have all the border walls, and you might see if they bug or not, but it looks like they're not, so that's good. Okay, and the final thing we're gonna do is do equals smooth plastic. Now we're gonna get some errors, and but did it work for this one? No, it didn't. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get some errors because we didn't do a checklist. So if V is a part, then put another N down here, and boom. Now everything is smooth plastic. As you can see, every single thing. Now, right here is pretty ugly, I would say. I don't really like how the border wall actually looks, but it does this well for the map. Just what we gotta do is go to all the border walls, go to all the parts. There should be one more. Here it is. Yeah, go to all of that and then cast shadow off, and that does look better. I think so. And if you want, we could change all the parts to like cast shadow equals false. But that looks pretty weird if you ask me. So we'll just change that to true, and then change all the border wall to not. Alright. Yep, that's all good. And now we have a map. So if we go ahead, press Control A, and anchor everything in the map, we are set. Everything's anchored. If we press play, we can walk around and stuff. Try to jump up there. Doesn't work. And what we're gonna do is also change the character settings in this episode. So yeah, it looks good so far. We have a decent map. And I'm not sure what type of game this will be. I'm pretty sure we can make it a sword fighting game. But that's kind of cliche. And like, I don't want it to be a crappy like gear game, Roblox gear game. So I think what we'll do is have a system where there's like a bunch of weapons that you can choose from, and it loads a different map every time. I guess we can make this like, we'll just have a variety of weapons like projectiles and everything. But to end this episode off, go to starter pit player, and we're going to change character walk speed to 18, character jump height to 10, and then we'll do health display distance. Change this to 0, and we'll make it where it doesn't show your name. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I cannot believe it so much. It's awesome. And here's our final map completed. And I changed the starter player settings to camera max zoom distance 50, walk speed to 18, jump height to 10, and it looks pretty good. Also enable mouse lock option off, so shift lock is disabled, auto jump enabled off. Health display distance is 0, name display distance is 0. We're going to have a GUI for that next game, or next episode. And yeah, that's it for today's episode, guys, of this game series I'm working on. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.